Today's tutorial is on the box and whisker plot, which we will be doing as part of the jumping frog lesson in the force and motion unit. So we begin by taking some raw data using one of the frogs. This is the medium-sized frog, and the trial number is one of the variables that will be on the left side that we record. And you're going to be jumping the frog and recording the distance traveled in centimeters on the right. We are only going to be using this distance traveled data in order to construct the box and whisker plot. So we begin by looking at the raw data as you collect it. 25, 30, 30, 24, 25, 27, 21, 23, 48, and 19. These values represent the distance traveled in centimeters. So to begin the process of constructing a box and whisker plot, you want to first organize your data from smallest to largest. So organized from smallest to largest, you have the values 19, 21, 23, 24, 25, 25, 27, 30, 30, and 48. Now, what we're going to do is divide the data into 4 parts known as quartiles. You can think of this as 4 quarters are in a dollar, there's 4 quarters in a football game. We're not interested in the specific values of the data, just how many there are. So for our data set, we have an even number of data points. We have 10 values. So what we want to do is find where would half the data be to the left and where would the other half of the data be to the right. And that value we're going to call the median. So looking here, I see that if I go 5 data points over and draw a line here, I now have 5 points to the left of the line, 5 points to the right of the line. So this point I'm going to call the median. When the median is between 2 data points, to find its value, you take the average of these points. So if I want to find the median value, I would take 25 plus 25, which is 50, and divide that by 2, which is 25. So my median value here is going to be 25. Okay. Now, to find the lower median, or something we call the first quartile, I have 5 pieces of data to the left of the median. The center point here, when I have an odd number of pieces of data, is actually one of the data values, which is 23. That value I'm going to call quartile 1. Now I'm going to look to the right of the median, and we are going to look for the upper median, also known as quartile 3. And again, with 5 pieces or an odd number of data points, the center data point of that will be the value 30. I'm going to represent that by quartile 3. My lowest value here of 19, I'm going to call the minimum value, sometimes also seen as quartile 0. Okay? And then the maximum value here of 48, I'm also going to highlight, and that's sometimes known as quartile 4. So these 5 values right here are what I'm going to be using to construct my box and whisker plot. All right, so to review, our smallest value, the minimum, which is quartile 0, was the value 19. Quartile 1, which is the lower median, was the value 23. Quartile 2, which is the median, was the value 25. My upper median, or quartile 3, was the value 30. And quartile 4, or the largest value, or the maximum, was 48. Okay. This 5-number summary is what we're going to graphically show on the number line below. So I have my distance jumped in centimeters, and I start with a number line, 0, and I'm going up by 2s. We only need an x-axis here. We don't need a y-axis because we're only graphing one set of data. So I want to plot along the number line the 5 values above. So I'm going to plot 19. And don't put the dot right on it. We're going to go a little bit above it, and you'll see why in a minute. So 19, 23 is about here. I apologize if these are off a little bit. 25 is approximately here. The value 30, approximately right there. And 48, our maximum value, is out here. Okay? Now, the third point here is our median. We're going to draw a line there, and draw a line also at quartile 1 and quartile 3. These are going to form the box part of the box and whisker diagram. So this is representing the middle 50% of the data. The line that's in the middle of the box always represents the median, or our measure of center. Now, from quartile 1, we're going to draw a whisker to the minimum value. Then we're also going to draw a whisker from quartile 3 over to the maximum value. So this is a picture now of what our distribution is looking like. This represents 25% of the data. This is the next 25% of the data, the next 25, and then the final 25. So your middle 50% of the data is represented by the box. So if I look here, I see that it looks like there's 50% of the data is between the values of 19 and 25, and the other half of the data is between the values of 25 and 48. So what do we want to use this for? Primarily, box and whisker diagrams are used to either describe a distribution or to compare different data sets. So for your frog activity, you're going to be comparing 3 data sets, a small, a medium, and a large frog that you're going to hop. And so you may make some comparisons based on the location of the medians for each of them. You may also wish to make some comparisons based on the shape that you see. From the median to this value and the medium here to the maximum, you have roughly a symmetric distribution, whereas here, from the median till the end, the distribution is what we call skewed to the right. The data is more spread out to the right than it is to the left of the median. It's more compact at this. And you can use these statistics, our 5-number summaries here again, in order to do some compare and contrasting between the distributions. Okay? Thank you.
Get to work.